guys for tuning in to another episode of Twisted Youngins. I am one of your co-hosts, Myra King. And to my right,
it's Desi Des.
and to my left,
it's your boy Mojo in the building, and we got a special guest with us, sir. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
What's good, guys? My name is Metalecalec. I'm a 22-year-old hip-hop artist coming out of Little Rock, Arkansas. I've yet to break into a mainstream market, but I'm, at the moment, I guess you could say underground, up and coming, as you could say. I put my life into my music. I try to tell real life experiences, and I try to connect with the listener in ways that would be different, I guess, in this day and age. And I'm really trying with this, and I'm trying to do it the best way I can. I'm about 6 years in right now, and it's really better than ever. So I'm just beyond grateful to have built a fan base, and for it to continue growing, I'd be grateful for that.
Okay, cool. How did you get your start with music? You said 6 years in?
Yes, sir. So in March 2015, I was at McClellan High School in 11th grade, and I was just like, I really saw what Tyga was doing, and it really inspired me. So I was like, I want to try this. And as you could say, I started writing raps in papers, and then I kind of like fell in love with that idea. And I knew someone down the street that had like a little home studio setup. So, with the grace for them, I was able to start recording songs. And for the last, I guess, 4.5 years, I have put out 5 years, about 120 songs. But the thing is, nothing really started to really stick, I would say, until like this last year. It's been a long journey within itself, but I feel like if someone really wants to pursue this, you have to like be in love with this. You can't just do it for the money. Like, it has to be a passionate thing.
Big facts. No,
correct.
I think you have to speak for yourself, sir. I think there's a lot of people that's doing this music that's only doing it for the money.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're chasing it for money, you might get what you want, but these people, they're not stupid. They can see if something's authentic or not. And if you really want to have longevity, you have to find a way to connect with the listener in a way that is personal,
Yeah, well, if you're speaking on longevity, I'm with you there.
What is it that you want from your listeners? What is it that you're looking for?
Like things I desire to accomplish. My biggest inspiration is Drake. So to even get to anywhere near his level would be a blessing. And I really just want it all. I want to accomplish as much as I can within this journey. I'm not one of those artists that I'm not gonna come and go. I'm gonna be here in 10 years. Like, if you told me today that, you're not gonna be able to go mainstream until 5 years from now, but you gotta work 12 to 16 hours a day every single day for the next 5 years, I would still do it. Yeah. I mean, of course I want to accomplish things, but I generally love making music. This is an outlet for me. This is a form of self-expression. Like, growing up, I never had a dad, and I was the only child for the first 10 years of my life. So I didn't necessarily get a lot of attention or someone to talk to or a shoulder to lean on. And music has, become this therapeutic thing for me. It's been a way to release my pain, and for it to go out there and help people at the same time, man, it's just such a blessing.
And I want to speak on that because you have a catalog of music. And when you just mentioned your work ethic, that's something that I wanted to shine a little light on. I noticed that, like, going through your music, going through your Spotify, going through your YouTube, I'm like, man, he's coming video after video. You know what I mean? Consistently, like nonstop, as if that's what it seems. And for a lot of artists, it's hard to do that. It seems like you stay in work mode at all times. And I did want to ask you about two of your songs, Emotional Changes and Painful. Like, I want to ask you, like, what is your creative process? Do you take real life situations and, well, you did mention it's therapeutic. So in Emotional Changes, you really, spit some heart wrenchful, pouring your soul out on that track. To me, it seemed like what were you going through at that time?
Hey, this is your boy Desi Des.
And it's your boy Mojo. And if you like what you are seeing so far, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the page. Please. And if all else fails and you like what you talking about as far as this merch-wise, baby, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? Check us out on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook at TwistedYounginz with a Z. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure you give us an email at TwistedYounginz@gmail.com for all promotions.
Where's it at?
At TwistedYounginz@gmail.com.
Yes, sir, with a Z. And also, if y'all don't like what you see right now, far as merch wise, we got more merch, and we also do merch.
Do your merch
Send
too.
us in a
We
couple
support
designs.
everybody.
Yeah, and we do promotional packages, interviews, videos, articles, whatever you guys need, man. Just make sure you hit us up. Holla at you, baby.
Thank you. Yeah, being that that's my previous album, it happened between the span of, I guess, me being 21 going into 22. Most of that album was made throughout 2019 and the early stages of this year. Really just being a young man that's willing to go through life and try to, make mistakes, but also be real about it. I talk about like a lot of like the relationships I've been in with various women, or just like my perspectives as a young man. Like, I'm honest, I'm vulnerable, I'll tell the truth. I don't care if someone like looks at me in a way like, oh, like you're this, like that doesn't matter. Like if I'm getting something off my chest, then that's essential for me. But with painful, so that takes me back to about 2 years ago. Let me tell you the backstory. So I was dating this one girl at the time, and she went through some traumatic experiences, and she looked at me and she was like, it would make me feel better if you could spread my story for me. Like it would, if it can help people, that would be very essential. So I'm like, they're like, okay, like let's try this. And so I make this song. At that time, this was around November 2018, so about 2 years ago. And I make the song, and every time I listen to it, I get the chills. And I play it for her. Of course, she starts crying. We play it for her mom. She starts crying. I'm like, oh shit! Like I ain't never had a song do nothing like this for me. And we shoot the video for it. And after we do that, I just think to myself, like, damn, this might be my first one to like, do something. And at that, it really was. I put it out, I think February 10th, 2019. It did its thing on YouTube, but Facebook is really where it blew up. Like that was my first video to reach 1 million views, and it hit 1 million views within 7 months. And then gratefully, here in my town in Little Rock, Arkansas, the story was picked up by like the local news station, and they broadcasted it, and I was able to get my first TV experience. And but that song really was something for me, like to learn how. I was like, damn, like this is how I can really connect with people, because I make various songs, different kinds, party songs. I try to do everything at this point, but that is really what hits people. Like, damn, I can relate to that. So like, So of course, throughout, since then, I've tried to make songs as similar that, touch people. And I learned a lot about that kind of music. Like that if I want to be here, I have to have an impact. It has to stick with people.
Yeah, I mean, lyrical context is everything. I mean, in that song, Painful, you said, she ain't deserve it, but you confirmed it. And I don't understand, but I know it wasn't worth it. That's real right there. A lot of people can relate to those words.
Yeah, it's
no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a scary world we live in. There's a lot of traumatic things. Other people have. It's unfortunate for them. Not everyone's life is as great as someone else's, but we just, you always want to show love and respect to other people, because you don't know what someone's going through.
Yeah.
You don't know how close they are to that cliff. So like, if you could do something to make someone's day better, do it. Like me personally, I get joy out of making other people happy. Like to put a smile on someone else's face, that makes me happy.
Yeah. More to the story. What happened in the relationship?
Which one?
With the woman you made the song for.
Like to her?
Yeah.
Like
between you and her.
Between you and her.
You guys are still together?
No. Oh man.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of relationships since then. But
okay, player.
Hold on, why? Why? That's a lot of you only 22. A lot of relationships.
Yeah. He talk all that emotional stuff, but he giving that thing and just dipping.
Yeah. I was actually a late bloomer. I didn't really start like seriously dating and like, I guess you could say having sex until I was like 19. I was a late bloomer. But, once I got my first taste, I became a fiend like any other young man. And I think within the span of like 3 years, I dated like 4 different girls. And, that girl,
dating, or you hump, you was, what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. In a relationship, like doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing, like trying to commit. And I'm over here like, I'm 21. Why am I trying to commit? Like looking back, actually yesterday makes a year of me being single. I've really dedicated this last year to my career. But previously before that, I was just bouncing around. Of course, I look back.
Going a lot of line, huh?
I mean, listen, is there anybody that you feel like, you probably would have walked it back with?
What do you mean?
Is there any female that you feel like you would have walked it back with? Like, oh, I should have, probably could have kept that one. She could have been.
At this point, nah, I've yet to find her, but she'll come eventually.
Right there.
Now you said this marks a year since you've been single and you dedicated that to your career. How imperative is that for your career? As do you feel like, has this been your most year that you got a lot accomplished with your head straight clear? You knew what you wanted, or like how was that for you? Were you able to accomplish more being single, or were you on the right track, or how did that work out?
Beautiful question. So I'll say this. I mean, I'm not against relationships, but in this day and age, if you're an independent artist and you're trying to come up and you're really trying to break into a mainstream market, it's kind of best if you do it single, because when you're in a relationship, I'm not going to say it blurs your focus, but you have to split the time and invest it into somewhere else, and your career is like stepping away while you're doing that. So back when I was dating, I just found myself juggling both when I was like, well, like, because if I put time into my career, it's just going to take me further than I am now. In a relationship, that shit could crash at any time. So it's like, it really, like, I couldn't necessarily focus as much then. But I will say this. Before this year, I've never made over $600 in my life. Gratefully, this was the first year in my life I made $50,000 off my music in my career. This year in January, I had $600 to my name. Wow. Gratefully, I've made it past that. But money doesn't define someone, but I feel like it really entails growth. But I will say that if you can invest money and time into yourself solely and focus on yourself, you will change. Like, you will go to a different level. It's impossible, but you have to learn from your mistakes.
Yes, sir. Talk it.
Is that Spotify bag?
I'll say this. For me, it's really been my clothing line. I'm beyond grateful to have beautiful, young women and just supporters that want to wear my clothing. I actually just dropped a song 2 days ago called "I Miss Love." Mm-hmm. And this is the new merch for the new song. I had to rep it.
Okay.
Oh, that look nice too, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You do lose money chasing women. You will never.
And so you say you made, but before, I don't mean to cut you off, Mojo, but you said you made that this year alone?
Yes. And but I feel like that's a great period to grow. But I'm trying to be worth 100 million by the time I'm 35. So like, I still got a long ways to go. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. It's out here. On your last album, Eyes Wide Shut, you had a song called My Story. Now I'm listening to it. Yeah, I'm listening to it and I'm digging into your lyrics and whatnot. And I'm like, man, dude's talking about a lot. This, I'm going to say it's different from all your other songs, but I felt like this is the first song that I got from you after digging through your music that you opened up more than you normally do. Or as your background and what happened far as you growing up and stuff like that and losing friends and dealing with the stress of, trying to be an independent artist. And you said something that caught my eye. You said that you lost a lot of friends to the streets. They either became a victim or they fell to the E.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me about that.
First off, thank you for listening. I don't know, man. Like I'm not necessarily from the best part of town within my city. I'm from a place called Southwest Little Rock, and there's a lot of gang violence out here. Mm-hmm. And I went to a school called McClellan High School, and I had friends, people that I was close to that lost their lives to gang violence, or, they chose to go down a path that wasn't necessarily the best, to go, I guess, rob people or bang or whatever. And people that I was close to, like, I lost them due to that. And it hurts me. And if I can, get close to younger kids and let them know, like, that's not necessarily the best thing to do. Like, that might seem cool, but I want to try to help. But just to tell my story like that, I feel like it was vulnerable, you could say.
Yeah, it was a great song, man. I was like, I really appreciated this because, like I said, digging through a lot of your music, like I said, you're not expressing. I'm not saying you're not expressing yourself, but this one here specifically, you gave us everything we was looking for as far as your fans are concerned.
Have you ever been in like a situation where you felt like your life could have been in danger?
Many times, yeah. One thing that I really remember, a lot of them was like prematurely before my career, but I'll never forget this one time. I was like 6 or 7 or 8. This dude was rolling down. He was like in a Chrysler 300. My dumb little ass grabbed a rock and just threw it at his car. But then, as opposed to handling it, like, what the hell are you doing? This dude pulled out with a 9mm, put it against my forehead, my cousin's with me. He runs crying, and my grandmother is running out to the street to like solve the situation. I think she ended up paying for it, but that was like probably one of my first traumatic experiences, like in that kind of sense. Of course, there's been others, but that's like was the most like, oh shit, like, you know.
Yeah, you can get
little badass gonna throw rocks at my oh my.
I mean, I definitely deserve to have been taught a lesson, but I feel like that was kind of extreme, you know, putting a gun to a child's face, like.
Yeah, he was probably, you don't know what kind of, how he felt to be that ride.
He might have just got that ride with no insurance. He probably had insurance. Yeah, he was on the way to get it, and you done hit him with a rock before he could even get it.
So, how did growing up without a father affect you? You were the only child for what, 10 years, you said?
Yes, ma'am. So I was fortunate enough to have a grandfather for the first 11 years of my life, but I was kind of like still young to understand like what the significance of having a father figure was. So, you know, I guess like after he passed away when I was in 5th grade, just going into my teenage years, you know, I was raised by my grandmother and my mother, which are very strong women, by the way. And they tried to, I guess you could say, teach me the best they could, which they did a great job, but just I never necessarily had a father figure. In all honesty, the closest thing I've ever had to a father figure at this point would be Drake. Like, I'm just so grateful for his music and the legacy that he's left behind and just the blueprints and the teachings. And I've never been able to connect with someone as much as that.
That's what's up. What's your favorite album of his?
Oh man, I love them all. It would be hard to choose, but lately at this point, I've been bumping Take Care like every single day.
Yeah, that's just
Take Care is. I mean, I feel like Take Care is his #1 album, even with the unreleased tracks on there. It's a classic, but you know, in hip hop, they want more than that. But it's still a classic in my eyes. Talk to me about that. Like you said, growing up, like you said, without a father and everything. Talk to me about the music scene in South Arkansas. Because what music shaped your culture? Because before Drake, what was you listening to that actually shaped you?
Who out there? And then name some artists that's out there that you rocking with a little bit.
I mean, of course, my taste in music has changed over the years. But as a child, I was listening to obviously like, you know, Kanye West, Jay-Z, you know, Eminem, Busta Rhymes, like anything that was really hot. Because my family, they're very open to music and they have a good ear, as you could say. So I was really hearing everything. But it wasn't until like I graduated high school when I really took time to dig into the catalog, and I went back and like artists that I guess you could say I listened to the most would be like Drake, Kendrick Lamar, you know, J. Cole, Post Malone, Big Sean, Tyga, Wiz Khalifa, Chris Brown. Like there's so many amazing artists I could tip my hat to, but there's so much these days, you know?
Yeah. Kendrick Lamar is that guy too.
Now, what's the music scene like there now? Like, what is
the you mean like in my city?
Yeah. Like in your city, like, what's the music scene like now in your city? Like, what's it like now?
Like, are you all doing? Yeah, are you all? Is it like a hip? Is it hip hop? Do you all got like your local music scene? Like, what is that?
I'm pretty sure you know some rappers. Name some rappers that you rocking with, man. That you like their music.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. Yeah, I mean, I would say there hasn't necessarily been this like super duper mega star out of my city, but there are definitely some artists nearby that I could not tip my hat to, like MBS Dev or Price the Poet, you know, up and coming independent artists as well. But there's really not many. There's been a couple artists that are doing their thing, but I had this mindset where it's like, oh, you know, like if you're like in a group or if you're already like if you're already with a major label, then we're not in the same bracket, obviously. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's not many. We haven't been fortunate enough, like, you know, Atlanta or LA or just all the other major cities. Now the trap scene is really big over here, but you know, that's not necessarily my thing, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Do you have a team? Do you have a team behind you?
Yeah, I have Alec Lane, Alec Griffith, and Metalecalec. We all do it together at this point.
Great.
I'm kidding.
Because I was reading something that's like you invest in your craft.
Yes, ma'am. I think that's extremely essential at this point. I mean,
a lot of artists don't have the money essentials to do that, and now you're completing the whole package. Like I said, you have the merch, and I'm pretty sure you're putting the finances behind it. that says a lot. A lot of artists don't have that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. It really was, before I became financially stable with this, I had to, just like anyone else, work regular jobs, restaurants, supermarkets, all that. And I took that money and I saved it and I invested it. Now, when I graduated high school, my grandmother, she got me a mic set, an interface, and a laptop. And this was in May 2016. And at that point, I really had to learn how to do everything myself. And I don't feel like my music became good until like really this year. So like before this whole journey has really been trial and error. And of course, obviously the numbers say that at this point, but yeah, I mean, I've had to teach myself at this point, I do everything. I wouldn't say because I want to, but because I don't necessarily have those connections yet. But I do, write my songs, record them, mix them, master them, arrange beats. I don't make beats. I work with various producers on YouTube, but yeah, I mean, in this day and age, you really just gotta, if you really want it, like, Russ is someone that I really look up to when he preaches, self-sufficiency and just, doing it yourself and ownership and stuff. That stuff's very essential. And I try to, go down that same road too, because I want to be wealthy as well,
Mm-hmm. What's your creative process when it comes to you making music? Is it something that you're already feeling, or do you see something that be like, oh, I need to hit the studio? Or do you just automatically just let's go in there and I figure it out?
Yeah, really it starts with like, I guess a vibe. Like, what do I feel? Like the other day I was like, I feel like making some turn up shit. So of course I'll go to my producers and see if they have any beats that I'm willing to work on. And if I find one, I'll pick it and I'll write a song to it. And after I write it, then I'll record it, mix it, master it, and yeah, and just throw it in the catalog and just keep working. Like I like to keep myself, way ahead of time, but it's really not that simple. At this point, after you've been doing this for half a decade, it's you kind of know what you're doing, but it hasn't always been like this. All the previous years, I didn't know what I was doing. You could go back and listen to the music from 2016 and up, and it's just like, it sounds like a little kid just fidgeting around trying to figure it out. But I saw that turn into this, and I know what it took to get here. So if I can offer any type of advice for other artists, I'd be happy to,
So it seems like you're still hitting the writing pad, which is great, because a lot of artists now that we've spoken with in the past, their process, they just go in the studio and just punch in, like they goes what come to mind. They punch in their lyrics. They just go off basically like free flow,
off the emotion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
Everybody has their own, I guess,
True.
special creative process. True. And that's what's beautiful about this, is like everyone does it different,
That's good. I feel like when you write it down, it can be arranged how you want it. How exactly how you feel at that time. If you want the bridge here, the hook here, this line here, or however. But what gave you the energy, the motivation, the strength, the courage, or whatever I can put in this pot just to keep going? Because like you said, you've been doing this for 6 years. A lot of people give up quick, especially when it comes to being an entertainer, rapping, or anything of that creative nature. What gives you the energy and just to keep putting this finance between, just to keep giving it everything that you got?
I would say it's really a balance. Like, if you have to be passionate about this, you have to love this, and you have to want this, and you have to like want this more than your next breath. This has to be your main priority, essentially your life. And if you make it that, then it'll go on. But I will say this, like when I first started, there were no fans, there was no good music, there was nothing. And it was like, damn, like this just sucks. How do I get there? And it's just like, well, I see what they're doing. Let me at least try. And if you keep trying something, and of course you'll get better at it, and you have to like learn from your mistakes. But for me, what really inspired me was spikes, like really seeing growth. Like, oh shit, I went from, this, okay, like, okay, these people are liking this. Okay, this is growing. I'm doing this to make it grow. So like, if I keep watering this tree and giving it the right nourishment, it's inevitable it's going to grow, So it's really just being able to measure growth. And once you see that something keeps going because of you, like, okay, if I just keep this up, it's going to keep growing,
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I got another one for you. So like you said, you like to go off the vibe, and that's how you pick, the way you go into the studio and how you started. My better question, I guess I'm asking, is, do you pick your beats the same way? Like, is your beat based, because I know a lot of rappers, they have a flow already. They've written some stuff down when they was just in the spur of the moment, and now they're going hunting for a beat. Or do you hear a beat first and then feel like, oh, I like that, I got to get on that?
That's a great question. You know, sometimes it's a little depressing because when I go to look for beats, I have to spend hours to try to find beats. And luckily I find one that I like because I'm way too picky, which is not good. But when I find one that I like, I write to the beat because I want to make sure I, hit the right pockets and use the right flow. Like, I can't just write a rap and then throw it on the beat. Like, nah. That's just me personally.
What kind of beats are you looking for?
Huh?
I said, what kind of beats are you looking for?
It really
depends. Like, it's emotional,
Yeah, it would be the mood. Cause like, I guess within the last month I've made, a couple sad songs, hype songs. It's like, what mood do I want to make? At this day and age, like, you can kind of tell by the sound what it's gonna be, Like, this is gonna be some club shit. This is gonna be some like, damn, they're gonna be crying to this. Like, it varies,
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, when you dropped your album, I want to know, how did you figure out your placement as far as which songs went where?
I guess it really just, of course I'll look at other artists and try to decide like how they structure theirs. Like, there's a formula to this, and just trying to like make sure like I'm doing it the right way. Like, it comes in at like this angle and it's telling this story and it's fluid and it's concise, and to make sure it all goes together. Now, there were songs that performed very well for me that didn't make the album. That's just because it wasn't cohesive. If I would have put those in there, it wouldn't have been cohesive enough. So I wanted to flow and tell a story. And what I can say about the newest album, Emotional Changes, is every song on there tells a story and it's meaningful. There is no like turn up shit on there. I made those singles, separately from the album.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I mean, if you're the big Drake friend, Drake's biggest hits are never on something that's advertised. It's usually some Kiki type stuff that's just a throwaway on the album or a bonus track or something like that, and it go double platinum. So
have you been performing lately?
Unfortunately, I have not. I've yet to perform as much as I've wanted to, but I will say this. I haven't performed since like 2016, but I've been building my online fan base since then. This year in January, I had everything ready. I was on the phone with venues. I was legit setting up my first tour. And I was gonna go on my first run this summer, but COVID broke out. So I didn't get to, but that's really a market that I've yet to break into. But I really just wanna start small. I wanna start, hitting like 100, 200 cap rooms just all across the country. And I want to evolve to doing arenas within this next decade. That's really the plan.
Do you want to stay indie?
No, I'm only doing it now because I have to, but I want to obviously within time, partner with a major label and go mainstream and have quadruple platinum songs and albums. I want to be a superstar,
Now, is it going to be a struggle when they come to you and they want a piece of the pie?
We want a little everything.
Well, I get what you're saying. At this point, I feel like there's different kinds of deals, and that really just stems from the artist and how much they have to offer. So take a guy like G-Eazy. Like, he started his thing himself. He built up a natural touring audience to where he was generating millions of dollars independently. That way, when it's time to you have to level the playing field. It's like, okay, I have this much to offer. Let's partner. Let's work together, as opposed to, you're doing everything for me and you're taking 70 and I'm getting 30. Like, some artists find themselves in that kind of deal, which not me. I ain't going that way. But like, there's different kinds of deals. But me personally, I want to build as much as I can in the underground scene before going mainstream. But then after that, still have a bit of ownership, because I built my leverage,
Well, I mean, you right now, you're in that point where a record label would look at you and be like, oh, let's slide in and get him.
Let's get him now.
Yeah, let's get him now. Let me get
wait
about
on
60%.
Yeah, like a bullshit. Like,
yeah.
Hey, what about virtual performance? Like, what about that?
I've yet to do any, but I'd be open to it. I would be open to it, but I haven't necessarily, I guess, thought about it. I've really just been so like making these songs, like,
Yeah.
But I would be open to it.
What's in the future? What you got next?
At this point, I'm really just dropping a new song every 3 weeks and just I notice every time I drop it, just the catalog gets bigger. I'm getting more fans. I get like, it's obviously different platforms, but maybe at this point I'm lucky to see a couple thousand new people a month. And it just grows and it gets bigger, and I try to nourish that relationship and just make the most heartfelt music. At this point, all the songs, like I have the next 10 songs ready. So I'm already mapped out all the way to next spring. And I'm working. I'm going to keep working. That way when spring gets here, I'll be mapped out to next fall. So like, I'm just trying to give as much music as I can, because I have this belief that, it's been proven, but if you as an artist independently, if you build a catalog, right? Obviously none of my songs have like blown up to an extreme, but whenever I do get that one song, they're going to come back and they're going to stream my catalog, and I own my catalog. So, and Russ is a proven millionaire too, because the thing is, when you partner with the major label, and they want to work your song and make it go on the radio and all that, and it blows up, they can have a percentage of that. But the independent catalog, this is excluded. This is mine. You're not touching this. I built this independently. So like, it's a big win-win within itself.
I mean, you think they don't know that? Like, they know that. They know the reason that, the people are coming to you is because of this new hot single that you got out. But they're coming to you not because of the new hot single. They're coming to you for the same thing you had mentioned. They know you have the catalog, and they want a piece of the catalog usually.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would think if you build the right amount of leverage, you have more of a say so. I mean, of course you have a say so in general, but if you I'm just trying to build the leverage that way I have that say so, to where like whenever I do, it's a separate. Well, we can make millions of dollars together off what we're gonna do next, but this is mine,
I'm just making sure you're not willing to compromise the business or the brand or anything like that just to become a star. That's all. Because a lot of people out here selling their souls to be a star. So you got to make sure you stand for something.
Literally. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You'd fall for anything at that point. I mean, the old me was definitely naive, wide-eyed, and gullible. But at this point, I've invested too much time in studying and researching to know right from wrong.
Okay. Do you smoke, sir?
On occasion, I will turn up. I love to smoke and drink with my friends, for sure.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, do your thing. Is it legal out there or what?
No, Arkansas, we've yet to make it legal. I think possibly for medicinal purposes, but I travel a lot. I just got back from Alaska and LA, and it's legal out there, I think. So
it's legal in Alaska?
I don't know about Alaska, but I know in LA.
How wouldn't it be though? You got like what? Don't sometimes it's like 28 days and
definitely legal in California for sure.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I feel like for me, it just at times it's able to, I guess, expand my mind, and I can think about things or see things from perspectives that I couldn't necessarily see being sober. But it's different. Some people use it and it unmotivates them, but for me, I guess when I do it, it motivates me. I wouldn't necessarily promote it and say go do it. Just it's okay to try something, but if it's not bringing positive to your life, don't do it.
It don't help you. Like some people say, you can think of more words or something like that.
Yeah, it does help me. It helps me think. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like when I do it, it's like I leave my body and I look at myself. I'm like, Alec, what the hell are you doing? This could be better. Go do this. Go do that. And then I become sober again. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go do those things. It's like I leave my life and I see myself from like an aerial view or some shit. It's weird.
You ever try shrooms?
No, I've not.
I mean, you sound like you're talking about some super future stuff right there. I feel like
you gotta look in that blood.
Yeah, it's
the green boy, anything can go up in here. No, there's nothing wrong with that though, man. That's what's up. I feel like, I feel like that's something that I'm glad you said too, because a lot of artists out here, up and coming artists, they feel like, they have to get drunk to make a good track. They feel like if they not turned up in the booth, then they're not gonna make the song turned up, and it's just a false. It's not true,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that does boil down.
I don't know. I ain't just talking about getting drunk. I'm just saying in general. Like some people feel like if they don't smoke or drink the lean or whatever, or pop pills or whatever the case may be, if they're not under the influence, they can't become the creator that they need to be.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, but everybody has their creative process. But I will say, if you got to do that to make some fucking great music, go do it. Like if Drake was like, oh, I have to do this to make this, I'm like, well, go do it more so we can have more music. Like, whatever you got to do to make the music, go do it.
That was the label.
Yeah, do what you got to do to get my money.
Yeah, it was the label.
I'll help you fund it.
Yeah.
But we'll appreciate you coming on today. Like I said, opening up to us. We congratulate you on your journey, the new release of your album.
Definitely. Y'all go check that.
Absolutely.
And we're happy to see with an artist from Arkansas, because not too often, like I said, Arkansas is kind of a small market. You know, the Midwest itself, you know, with an exception of Chicago, but it's other talent out here. So we're definitely thankful for that. And
yes, ma'am. Where are you guys located?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. I've been there one time. Much love to you guys.
Video out here, right?
Yeah, I actually shot, like in my early stages of my career, I shot this video called Big Dreams out there. Y'all have the best barbecue. Oh my gosh.
Appreciate
it. It's so amazing. I can't wait to come back.
Oh, hey, look, whenever you come back, we'll be here.
When they open it up and you get your tour date set up, bro, we coming through.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I mean, I guess whenever we get off here, just
and vice versa. Yeah, vice versa. We come to Arkansas.
Yeah, definitely. And let the people know where they can find you right now. Where can the people find you at? And you're
okay. My name is Metalecalec. METALEC on any music platform. I mean, I'm verified on Instagram, so if you type in META, it'll pop up. But what I want to promote most would be like Spotify, Apple Music, my YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook. Just those are my main handles. So if you follow me, I do this thing. At this point, I still show love to everyone. If you like my picture, I'll like it back. If you send me a DM, not asking for something, I'll respond. Like, I love, like, nourishing relationships at this point is extremely essential to me. So if you show me love, I will show you love back. Now, if you say some crazy ass shit, no, you probably don't get no response.
Lastly, where did Metallic come from?
Okay, so I was 17 and I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, well, I want to be rapper. Well, what am I going to call myself? Well, my name's Alec. What rhymes with Alec? Alec, Solid, Palace, Metallic. What's that? I Google it. It's something that can't be broken or, you know, destroyed. It remains solid through everything. And I feel like that's something that really defines me. So I put the two together and it's like, well, this is pretty cool. And over the years, you know, there's been fans that have got it tatted on there. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't change this. But at this point, if I could go back, I would just call myself Alec. But I can still have, you know, another name like, you know, Drake or Drizzy. Like, I could switch it up. That could be my other person, but Alec. But it's Metallic Alec.
All right. Well, thank you, man. We'll appreciate it. We're going to definitely stay in touch, and you're going to definitely come back on the show.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
It would be an honor. Thank you so much for this, guys. I wish you guys nothing but love, peace, happiness, and success in all your individual lives.
Likewise,
thank
sir.
You.
Likewise.
Thank
we appreciate it.
Same here, man. And you be safe, and you continue working, continue putting in that work, making that good music.
Yeah, stay on the ground. We'll be checking.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Peace.